And next, I would like to introduce to you all our keynote speaker, Mr. Alain Bejjani, an investor, a shark, an author, a global thought leader, and the former CEO of Majid Futtaim. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Alain Bejjani.
Good evening. I'm sorry for the mic. I'm not as good with the mic as I would have been with the stand, but I'll hold the mic. So, hello. Thank you for being here all tonight. I'm very privileged and humbled to have been invited to deliver the keynote speech for today's event and for the 90th edition of ECH. I have to say that honoring our past and shaping our future is a bit of a challenge. I think, today witnessed one of the most innovative Arab spirit by honoring our past through Bamia, which is something that I think wouldn't happen every day, but actually there is a lot to think about there. I agree. There is so much that we hold in our culinary tradition and in our legacies into all of that. For my part, I'm going to try to talk about honoring our past and shaping our future. And I want to do that honestly, because the Arab past is not one thing. It's at least three things. The first is ancient and it is glorious. This civilization, our civilization, gave humanity the figure zero, algebra, and astronomy. It gave the world its first hospitals, its first universities, its first systemic approach to medicine. It preserved Greek philosophy when Europe had forgotten it. It handed it back to the word transformed. The very alphabet through which much of humanity communicate traces today a line back to this region. Three of the world's great religions, faith that have shaped the moral imagination of billions, were born in Arab land. We did not merely take part in human civilization. For centuries, we led it. The second chapter is harder to speak about, but we must. Because from the Ottomans through the European empires and into the era of independence, something happened to our world. Borders were drawn not by us, but for us. Straight line that institutionalized fragmentation, that cut across communities, kinships, and trade routes that had existed for centuries. States were created, and too many of those states, despite extraordinary endowments in resources, in geography, in human talent, built economies that underperformed for decades. We sacrificed generations after generation on the altar of causes we believed in deeply, but pursued without the strategic discipline they deserved. We opened our doors to foreign interference, and we grew frailer by the year. Some of our country exported oil, others exported brains. And those brains, our best brains, went to shape businesses and societies and institutions across every continent, everywhere it seemed, except home. The third chapter, the one closest to us, is unfinished. And that is precisely why we are here tonight. Look at the world right now. Lebanon seems to be at the dawn of a new era, yet still absorbing the aftermath of a war that was not of its choosing. Gaza is in ruins. The direct confrontation between the US, Israel, and Iran has reshuffled a geopolitical deck that had already been in motion for years, and is bringing to a close a long chapter of tension and instability in our region. Every global power is recalibrating its relationship to this region because they understand something that we sometimes forget about ourselves. They understand the Arab world is not peripheral to the future of the world. It is central to it. Energy, sovereign wealth fund, geography, demography, strategic corridors. We sit at the intersection of everything that matters in the 21st century. And in the middle of all of this volatility, something is being demonstrated right now in our own region. I believe that it is the most important story not told loudly enough. The UAE is not even 60 years old, built on desert. It federated its forces, it built its cities. It proved definitely that modernity does not conflict with heritage, that you can honor who you are while becoming something the world has never seen. When COVID hit, one of the greatest operational crises of our lifetimes, the UAE turned it into a proof point. They moved faster and emerged more globally relevant than before. They are now at the table in AI, in space, in global finance, in diplomacy, not as a guest, as a player. Saudi Arabia has charted one of the most ambitious reform agendas of any nation in the world, at a speed and scale that is genuinely historic. These are real examples of what the region can produce. These are not miracles. They are the result of a leadership culture that make a choice to honor the past by refusing to be imprisoned by it, to decide that the future of the next generation is more important than the comfort of the current one. This is not the first time a people has made that choice. Japan, Germany did it after the devastation of World War II. South Korea did it. Singapore did it. In each case, a country looked at the wreckage of its circumstances and decided, not good enough. We will build something worthy of what we are capable of. This is what shaping the future looks like, and it is our turn now. Let me be precise about what is at stake, because this is not rhetorical. Our region is home to 8.5% of the world's population. We produce 3.4% of global GDP. Our total regional market capitalization is 10 times lower than that of Europe, despite having larger population. Only one company from our entire region is listed in the Forbes Global 500. Only one, that is Saudi Aramco. I spent years as CEO of one of the Arab world's largest companies operating across 18 countries, studying why this gap exists and what it would take to close it. The answer is not more foreign investment. It is not more summits. It is deeper, more deliberate, more courageous integration of the region itself. Common standards, free movements of goods, services, capital, data, people, and ideas across borders that have too far long worked against us. The price for getting that right is not incremental. It is transformational. We have the ability to double the size of our regional economy, to double the size of our GDP, $2.5 trillion in value waiting to be unlocked. And the urgency has never been greater, because in the next decade, 140 million Arabs will enter the labor market. 140 million. Now, that is by 2040. If you look at the numbers by 2050, that's about 300 million Arabs. They will have to enter into economies that are not ready to receive them, into education systems that have underperformed for a generation, into a world where artificial intelligence is simultaneously the greatest productivity tool in human history and a force that is decoupling productivity from job creation in ways that we have never seen before. Let me say that again, because it matters. Productivity and job creations are decoupling. Growth will require fewer jobs, if at all. For a region with our demographic profile, that is not an abstraction. That is an existential challenge that demands a response unlike anything we have mounted before. The geopolitical moment we are living through, as brutal and as costly as it has been, is also paradoxically an opening. Old arrangements are breaking down, new ones not yet been set. This is precisely when history is made. This is when the countries and the leaders and the generations that are willing to think boldly and act with discipline will come to write the rules. We have everything we need. Proof of our capabilities, capital from our energy endowments, a young population that is more educated, more connected, and more globally aware than any Arab generation before them. What we need is the will. And here I'm talking about the political will, but also our collective will. I want to speak directly to the people in the room. You are the generation this conference is what this conference is really about. And I want to say something to you that I mean without reservation. No generation of Arabs have ever been more capable of changing the Arab world than yours. You have tools your grandparents could not have imagined. You have access to knowledge, to capital, to networks, to technology that puts you on a level playing field with anyone, anywhere on planet Earth. Being it in Silicon Valley, in London, in Singapore, you have grown up in the world. You understand it in ways that previous generations of Arab leaders formed entirely within the region simply did not. But capability without commitment is just potential. And potential, as I have learned through decades of building businesses under pressure, expires. So I'm going to ask you something. So I'm going to ask something of you. I am going to ask it plainly. Go home. Not permanently, if your life is built elsewhere, but in your mind, in your investment, in your energy, go home. Your country needs you more than any country where you are building your career right now. The Arab world was built by people who bet on it when the odds were against them. It will be rebuilt by people willing to do the same. Re-engage with your governments, with your institutions, with civil society, with political realities that are easy to dismiss from a distance. Nothing will change if the most capable Arabs continue to opt out of the messy, frustrating, necessary work of building functional societies. Speak truth to power, because no generation has been more empowered to do so than yours. Lead with excellence and refuse to settle. In innovation, in science, in entrepreneurship, not Arab excellence as a separate category, just excellence, the uncompromising, relentless pursuit of it, the way you would demand of yourself in any world-class institution. Because that is the only standard that will actually build something worthy of the sacrifices of those that came before you. My experience has taught me one thing above all: the future belongs to those who dare and who are willing to do what it takes. Sometimes it means painful decisions. Sometimes it means choosing the long term when everyone around you is thinking short term. Sometimes it means standing for something unpopular because it is right. The theme of this conference asks us to honor our past while shaping our future. I believe these two are not in tension. I believe they are the same act. The people who gave us algebra and astronomy did not do it for themselves. Those who plant trees don't enjoy their shades. They did it for humanity, for the generation they would never meet. The builders of the UAE did not construct one of the most vibrant cities for their own comfort. They did it as a statement about what this civilization is capable of. When we shape our future boldly, courageously, without excuses, this is how we honor them. This is the only tribute that counts. The work is in front of us. The moment is now. The generation to do it is in this room or in this church. Walk in the footsteps of those who dare to dream, not only for themselves, but for all of us. And thank you.